Young conservatives have to start to stand up, and young libertarians have to start to stand up too and say we have issues. Say we have to develop a package to sell to young people. I want Trump to get reelected in 2020, and I want the Republican Party to survive past that. I think a lot of you do too. It's time to make a choice. So I just watched a commercial on democratic socialism and a link to a pop culture article on the Washington Post website. And in this commercial, there were all these rappers and singers and artists and actors talking about how great socialism is. We are officially at a point where people are advertising dangerous ideologies to children. But yet, conservatives don't want to hear this. You all don't want to hear that obviously the platform that we were running on before Trump, and thank God for him, because if he didn't inject this populism in, we wouldn't have any youth base, is obviously not appealing to young voters. Wake up, guys. We got a whole thing of young voters that are going to tip the election really soon.
Thank you. I actually don't have a WalkAway story. I've always been a conservative. But I did have a moment where I realized how much danger we were really in. That was 6 months ago when I watched David Hogg speak at the March for Our Lives, where I watched him lie, deceive, and turn my generation against itself. And in the weeks that followed, when I watched him lead walkouts of schools I had attended, poison the minds of my friends, and silence people with shaming and boycotts, all while supported by other young liberal leaders. In contrast, our young conservative leaders told us to challenge these terrorizers to debates, to laugh at them, and most of all, to not let our emotions get the best of us. So we were sent back to school in a time of anger and political revolution, ill-equipped, and with one arm tied behind our backs. But they didn't care, because they weren't the ones getting silenced, bullied, or grade docked, or confronting the radical rise of socialism. This will not happen again. We will counter the left, its celebrity supporters, and its foolish and privileged young leaders who call for a revolution. The reason why the left has supported the continued destruction of my generation is because they have taken over the American education system. Yeah. They have replaced curriculum with propaganda and teachers with indoctrinators. They have stripped parents of their parental authority, both through legal means and through shaming. Question a sex ed class and you're a bigot. Comment on a history teacher's curriculum and you're a racist. The left has chosen my generation to fight a war that they've wanted fought for 70 years. A war to fundamentally change the social and economic fabric of this country. A war to bring about socialism, and a war to punish all those who went against them. The left has decided that my generation's dreams and what we wanted to be remembered for in the history books doesn't matter, because they need foot soldiers. Right now in the American education system, there are assignments about finding your privilege, essays about how bad the president is, silenced GOP lies stickers in classrooms, and right now in a well-respected college in Massachusetts, students are walking under communist banners and filling out implicit bias charts. This is the present, but it won't be the future. It is time for my generation to fight back, to demand politically neutral curriculum from the American Federation of Teachers and the American Education Association, who donate 94% to Democrats and gave Hillary Clinton $32 million and had her as their main convention speaker. How can we expect them to be unbiased when they are biased? To demand that students not be used as political foot soldiers, and most of all, to demand answers about the rising cost of college tuition when these colleges have endowments of hundreds of millions or billions of dollars and an ever-falling global education ranking. To the teachers in this country who know what is happening, who know the truth, it is time to be honest, to stand up for the students that you teach, and most of all, to walk away. To young Democrats, David Hogg has promised a revolution, and he has made himself your leader. So if you're okay with being his foot soldiers, keep at it. But if you're not, it's time to walk away. The fight that young American conservatives are waging against the left is a global fight. What is happening here is happening in other countries around the world. So we must unify with young conservatives, Republicans, populists, nationalists, libertarians, and independents around the world. Don't let young liberals shame you into complacency, because this is a fight between tyranny and peace and freedom and control. We will not win this fight alone, so reach out, vote in every election, build relationships, organize, and unify, because the fight is now, and this is the official reset of David Hogg going after the youth vote. Thank you.